Well, what's going on, YouTubers? It's the Natural Born Thriller, and welcome everyone to WWE NXT Review, the show from December 18th, 2019, whether in Winter Park, Florida, and at Full Sail University. Your commentators were Mauro Ronaro, Beth Phoenix, and Nigel McGuinness. But it's not wasting time, folks. Let's get right into the show. So, the show opened up with the NXT Championship match between the Prince, Finn Bálor, who's also the challenger, versus the NXT Champion, representing the Undisputed Era, Adam Cole, baby. Match happens, and match was great from the start to finish. Also, represents to Balor going for the Bloody Sunday for the finish, only for Johnny Gargano to come out. Basically, Johnny Gargano returns, and this led to Adam Cole taking that advantage of that distraction, rocks him a few times, goes for the last shot, and gets the win to retain his NXT Championship of 2019. Still, your NXT champion going into 2020 is still going to be the NXT champion. What a year for Adam Cole, folks. He started off hot in 2019 for being NXT champion, and he's going to be finishing off 2019 still the NXT champion going into 2020. Not just him being NXT champion, but just him, of his work in NXT, of his work also with him being on Raw, SmackDown, Survivor Series. Then basically, Adam Cole has had a great year, man. And at this point, there's no argument, no question about it that Adam Cole is Wrestler of the Year, or in the East standpoint. Adam Cole, man, he never ceases to amaze us, And yes, we get it. He's not the big guy. He's not muscular like all the other. He's a small guy and everything. But you see his in-ring work. You see his personality. You see his work his body of work. This guy, he's got a lot going on for him. But it's going to unfortunately end once he gets that call to go to main roster along with the rest of the Undisputed Era. Once Vince McMahon gets his hands on them, it's not gonna be anything good. So for now, he's having a great year in of being the NXT champion, and for being in my opinion as of 2019 Wrestler of the Year, he's really come his own here. So Adam Cole, yeah, he retains. All of a sudden, Johnny Gargano slowly goes down the rampway. As Adam Cole exits the ring, Finn Balor recovers a little bit. All of a sudden, Gargano goes right after Finn Balor, beats him up, and basically rams him into the front rows, where the guardrail collapsed onto these plant fans. Now, I think it happened during the match, if I not recall. I mean, if I recall, I think it happened during the match, or may have happened when Gargano did the attack on Balor on the outside. Oh yeah, here we go. It was happening on the outside. I mean after the match, with Gargano. So yeah, basically the same thing happened with Gargano with Finn Balor doing that to him, and the same thing happened with here, but this time it's the other way around. Now, this become overdone so many times, folks. NXT. I mean, it's just a few times, but once you get seen on this go down every time, it gets old, and like, okay, I've seen this a couple times already. It's not exciting me that much anymore. So, and on top of that, a smart fan like me, I know these guys are not real fans. They're just plants. You can't fool fans like me to thinking, oh yeah, these are real fans now getting hurt on there. And the way it was done too, it was so stupid the way it was done too. Cause yeah, we're gonna they get hurt. These fans are hurt. In the front row with the guardrail and everything. But the Necla it's just so it's just so stupid the way they do it. But it's whatever. Okay, so yeah, that was the end of that one, and then obviously what pertains to Gargano and Bálor. Now that feud can pick up where they left off, and it's gonna come into its fruitions in 2020. We see a real Ripley earlier on that night, on that day, excuse me, arriving to the full sale, and she's getting ready for her match against Shayna Baszler. We'll get to that momentarily. We also see the Four Horsewomen also arriving there as well, and again we'll get to more of them later. We get a view package of Killian Dane, Damian Priest, and Pete Dunne, and I thought it was decent. And then we get to the match with Damian Priest versus Killian Dane. The match they were supposed to have but never had the opportunity to do it because Damian Priest was hurt. Yeah, even though he was hurt on that Takeover show, but then he competed on the next night of after on Takeover. So you pick up as a fan, you pick up these things and you think things as a women. If he was hurt in the first place, then why you hadn't wrestled the next night? Obviously he got hurt during the match though, but still, obviously that it's whatever, right? I guess it's just a fan like me. I'm just thinking too hard this one. I'm thinking far too hard with that. Anyways, so the match happens. Damian Priest and Killian Dane, good match. Damian Priest win the match, and he's a nice reckoning onto Killian Dane. So yeah, Damian Priest is getting this push more than Killian Dane is getting right now, and I don't blame NXT for that. But at the same time, Killian Dane he's still good. He's still a good wrestler. But it's basically is on Damian Priest's time. So there you go. We see Kushida warming up for his match against Cameron Grimes, and then we see Cameron Grimes in his own dressing room. He's getting warmed up for his match against Kushida, and we'll get to that later. WWE announced in 2020 the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic will return on New Year's Day. I love it. I love these tournaments, especially what pertains to honoring to the late great American Dream Dusty Rhodes. So I'm glad they're bringing that back, and I can't wait to see who the tag is going to be in this tournament. I think we get to Cameron Grimes versus Kushida. Good match with Cameron Grimes winning. Surprisingly, I didn't see this coming. I thought Kushida was going to get the win here, but Cameron Grimes gets the win with by doing the cave in, and yeah, so Cameron Grimes, he got the win. Not only he got the win, but also he got his hat back. Because remember, Kushida stole his hat, which led to Raul Mendoza getting the win over Cameron Grimes because Cameron Grimes got distracted. So Kushida had his hat just for that entire week, and then all of a sudden he got his hat back now. So we see Rhea Ripley. She's warmed up for a match for later on, and we'll get to that later. Basically what it takes to the NXT Women's Championship title match, which it was the main event, and we'll get that later. Beth Phoenix shows a video package of Io Shirai. And Io Shirai is going to be in action. Folks, I got to talk about this one, which is Io Shirai, but I'll get to it when I get to it. We get to a tale of the tape, which is to the main event between Shayna Baszler and Rhea Ripley. And when they're showing the tale of the tape, I did not realize that Shayna Baszler is the same height, just like Ripley. Now, I can't remember what was the height, really. I think it was like, 5'8" or 5'9". I don't remember, but I'm like, wow, I didn't, because the way they were standing before, look at Rhea Ripley was a little bigger than her, but they did the measuring. So what do I know? But anyways, okay, this is what I want to talk about now. Io Shirai, she makes her entrance. She gets in the ring, and a random fan in the crowd tells Io Shirai, a Japanese wrestler, telling her to go back to China. And first of all, I just want to say, first of all, that's racist. Second, clearly this guy's IQ has got to be below 0, because if you can't tell the difference between a Japanese lady and a Chinese lady, then you definitely didn't graduate high school. So, what was Io Shirai's response to that? She basically says to that guy who said to her, go back to China and everything, right? And she said, Japanese bitch. And then she carried on her business by by stretching, which I thought that was very pretty savage of her to do that too. And like, yeah, you told that idiot. Like, seriously. Like, and another thing too, the ring announcer announced that she's from Japan. How this guy, did not pick up on that, it's beyond me. Unless he's tone deaf, and he really is racist and thinking that that China, people from China and Japan are they look the same. You want to talk about a racist son of a bitch? You got someone there at Full Sail, and he should not be allowed back there ever again. I wish Io Shirai would have went over to Burger King and basically kick his ass. Maybe then he'll learn that that there's two different Asians, which clearly he never learned from when he was in elementary school. But Io Shirai goes up against Santana Garrett, and matches up. I thought was pretty good. Santana Garrett looked pretty good in this match. And
you ever using a cup?
Miranda, why? Sorry about that, folks. I apologize for that. I had to take care of something. So, basically had to deal with something. So yeah, anyways, back to this. So yeah, like I said, Io Shirai and Santana Garrett, they had a good match. Santana Garrett actually looked good for this time. I don't know what happened with her last time, which was against Tainara, but it's not. There's no fault of Tainara, because I thought she was a better performer in that match against Santana Garrett. But I don't know what happened with Santana Garrett on that night. Maybe she had an off night. But in this night, she actually looked good against Io Shirai. And in the end, Io Shirai got the win. There you go. So Io Shirai got the win, and there you go. There was no to say about that. All right, so then we get to Travis Banks from NXT UK versus someone who came from NXT UK, who is now part of NXT since NXT moved to USA, the Bruiserweight, the former United Kingdom champion, the longest reigning in WWE history, Pete Dunne. Match happens. Match was pretty damn good, and Pete Dunne gets to win with on the bitter end. And there you go. We get Kathy Kelly. She interviews Dakota Kai. Dakota Kai admits that she was forced to get staples last time that she was on NXT, where it takes to what Medium did to her by putting her to 2 tables. And someone said, "Wait a minute, you didn't go through 2 tables. You missed 1 table, which that 1 table that could be from the back of your head is what cost you they got to get you staples in the back of your head in the first place." They kept saying 2 tables, like she didn't go through 2 tables. You could tell. You could even watch the footage yourself. Mia Yim put her to 1 table. The other, and she didn't go to the other table because the other table she missed because her head hit the edge of that table. The back of her head. So how did she want to do tables? It's impossible to go to 2 tables if one of the table didn't go. If one of the table didn't go through when she went crashing down there. Made no sense. But here's the thing with the Kokai. She's okay though. But yeah, she goes on to say that she will continue to beat the rest of the women's division until she becomes NXT Women's Champion. That's her goal, and we'll see how that turns out. We get Shayna Baszler warm up for a match, and we'll get to that later. Now they announced that NXT will have a Christmas episode, but it's taped though. It's a taped show. So basically, here's what's happening on the show there. Leo Rush and Keith Lee versus Damian Priest and Tony Nese. Roger Strong's gonna do an open challenge for his NXT North American Championship, and I'll be watching. But also on that same show, they're gonna be doing the year-end awards for NXT. Which is which you could vote on WWE.com, which is to I'm pretty sure on the NXT side of it. But yeah, there you go. So yeah, basically only 2 matches were announced, and that's all we're going to get. 2 matches that are going to be announced, and the rest of it is going to be revealing the year-end awards of it. So there you go. All right, main event time. The NXT Women's Championship, the challenger, the Nightmare, Rhea Ripley versus the NXT Women's Champion, the Queen of Spades, the Magician of Submission, Shayna Baszler. Match happens. Great match, great storytelling, great psychology. Not just a little bit of routines to Shayna Baszler, but for Rhea Ripley. The way that Rhea Ripley sold in this match to Shayna Baszler offense, pretty damn good, and her dominance too, pretty damn good. And then at one point you had Jessica Mendouk and Marisha Fair coming out to to interfere, only for them to be ejected because they got involved in the way. But the match still continues on, where Rhea Ripley is mounting some comebacks, and it was just great storytelling. It was like a story. It was like telling the story of can she overcome the longest reigning champion who can't be beaten by anyone that's been put in front of her ever since she became NXT Women's Champion. Which, by the way, Shayna Baszler has been NXT Women's Champion for a second reign. She's been NXT Women's Champion for over a year now, because the last time she won the belt was last year in October on WWE Evolution, where she beat Kairi Sane, who was an NXT Women's Champion at the time. And I don't remember actually the number how long she's been a Women's Champion on NXT, but yeah, she basically, I think she surpassed Asuka, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, unless Asuka's has a more reign than that. But I'm not going to add the combined dates. The combined days of Shayna Baszler's reign, because remember, Shayna Baszler's been NXT Women's Champion before. So I'm not gonna include her first reign and add it to her second reign. To put them together. No, no, not doing that. I'm talking about overall. Uh, as a matter of fact, let me look it up. It should be quick. Just give one moment. And why am I mentioning that? And why am I mentioning that too? By the way, because in the end, Shayna Baszler was dethroned by Rhea Ripley. She won with a riptide off the turnbuckle. Basically, went for a riptide avalanche and got the win. So your winner and new WWE NXT Women's Champion, the Nightmare, Rhea Ripley. And you kind of seen this coming too, but and also it was pretty predictable. With reference to Shayna Baszler, that she wanted to go to the main roster. She wants to face newcomers. She wants to face someone new basically. She feels like she's ready, and I believe she is ready. I just hope that she doesn't get lost in the shuffle like the rest. But yeah, Shayna Baszler, she's gonna be. You can't lose. She's gonna be going to the main roster anytime. Anyways. So especially with respect to her Shayna Baszler and Becky Lynch's confrontation, during the whole Survivor Series build up. And on top of that, with Rhea Ripley, basically when Rhea Ripley first coming into NXT, confronting Shayna Baszler, you kind of knew right there from the beginning that Shayna Baszler was going to be the one to dethrone. I mean that that Rhea Ripley was Rhea Ripley, who made her debut on NXT and confronted Shayna Baszler. You kind of knew from there that Rhea Ripley was going to be the one that to dethrone the Queen of Spades off her throne to become the next NXT Women's Champion in Shayna Baszler. You kind of knew that was coming, but it was it obviously was predictable, and from there it was predictable. It was that was going to happen. But predictability doesn't mean it's bad. Predictability means it could be good too, because in this match it did make me believe that Shayna Baszler was going to beat her at one point, especially when we had her in the Karakula clutch. I really believe that Shayna Baszler was going to beat her here. Because they protected Rhea Ripley from left to right, especially when it comes to outside interferences, and in the end, she overcame and she ends up winning, and then it was good storytelling the way they did it too. It got Rhea Ripley over, and she was already over anyways. Either way, but after her win, she got even more over now. So Rhea Ripley won, and then we got the entire new faces of NXT NTL, except for one that I did recognize, which was Cancer Ray, and this one guy, he was on TV on NXT before, but they never featured him after that ever since. Basically, he was doing the whole Erica Tower thing, and had a mustache and a headband. He was basically like the mix of Freddie Mercury and Jimi Hendrix or something like that. But he's Caucasian though. Or I think I can't remember. Oh yeah, it's kind of like Aaron Stevens, because the way he was screaming. You know how how wait, Aaron Stevens. I meant to say Steve Tyler. I meant to say. Sorry. But anyways, but yeah, basically, I recognize two people from NXT. Being there to celebrate with Rhea Ripley. The rest of them, maybe there are a few I probably knew. I just going to pick up on it. But as far as those, from on that MDF to support Shayna Baszler, I have no idea who they were. But I'm not gonna crap on that. But hey, it was a feel good moment for Shayna Baszler, and I was very emotional for Shayna Baszler because I mean Rhea Ripley, excuse me. Sorry, folks. Rhea Ripley. No more Shayna Baszler. Rhea Ripley. So yeah, it was a very emotional moment for Rhea Ripley, and I was very emotional for Rhea Ripley. So it was a great moment. That Shane Pearson has been dethroned by Rhea Ripley, and now Rhea Ripley is going to be the one carrying the banner of being the NXT Women's Champion. Now the question is who's going to be the one to beat her when her time is up on NXT when she gets to the main roster? Makes you want to think. Makes you think, doesn't it? Don't it? Right? Only time will tell. If you want someone to be Rhea Ripley, someone down the line, it's gotta be Io Shirai. Io Shirai is the one is turning up on NXT in the women's division. Not just Rhea Ripley, but also with just Io Shirai being a heel, she's gotta be the one. She has to be the one. If you need a heel to beat Rhea Ripley, it's gotta be Io Shirai. But when they're gonna do it, don't know yet. But for now, let Rhea Ripley have a moment. Let her carry the belt until she can't hold on to it anymore. And we'll see where it goes from there. Okay, now let me get back to the whole thing with the longest title reign. So you have Asuka with 510 days of being women's champion. But then it says here next to it 522 days. I don't know. I don't know what it. And meanwhile, Shayna Baszler, with her first reign, is 416 days. There you go. But yeah, and by the way, it's Rhea though. That it retains to Asuka's reign, 510 days, but then next to it says 522 days. So I'm like, well, which is it? Okay, I see now. The 510 days is basically 510 is the days that of her being champion, but the ones that WWE wants to recognize is the 522 days, which I don't get it. It makes no sense. Why would WWE? I don't get whatever. I don't know. To me it makes no sense. But the point is, Shayna Baszler, her reign was 416 days. Basically, she was kind of getting there, but at this point, yeah, it had to be over now. So there you go. But anyways, there you go. That was basically it. So yeah, so good for Rhea Ripley. Congratulations to Rhea Ripley. I'm very proud of her, and I'm glad she's getting this moment. And now she's gonna be the supreme leader of the women's division on NXT until her time is up. And it was a great match, folks. It was a great match, and I loved it. All right, 6 matches were the Talking About Wrestling for NXT, the show from December 18th, 2019. My overall rating for the show, I'm gonna go with a 7.5 out of 10. And wrap it instead. Thank you all for watching for It's Natural Born Thriller, or in this case, the Natural X Thriller, where it pertains to NXT. Saying peace on the streets. For this was your WWE NXT review from December 18th, 2019. Until next time, where it pertains to WWE NXT review, you'll take care.